It's 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the President of the Republic left to Ethiopia for a working visit. Concerning international scene, Germany's Conservative Party of CDU, protected by Merkel, succeeded him at the head of the CDU. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, is back in the capital. The country is bound from Ethiopia, precisely the city of Jimma, where at the invitations of the Prime Ministers of Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy Ahmed Adi, he will perform a 24-hour visit during this trip to Ethiopia, where will also be the Sudanese President Omar Hassan al-Bashir. President Guelleh will take part in a tripartite series of scheduled talks between the three leaders. The most prominent topics in the sub-region, including issues relating to stability and economic integrations, will be discussed at the length during the talks between the three leaders together. The agenda of the President of the Republic in Jimma also provided for his participations alongside his Ethiopian and Sudanese counterpart in an official ceremony of inauguration of a mosque built by President Omar Hassan al-Bashir. And the President of the Republic takes part in the inauguration of a series of new infrastructures in Jimma, Ethiopia. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, at the invitations of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, took part today, Saturday, as part of the working and friendship visit of 24 hours at the inauguration of a series of new infrastructure in the Ethiopian city of Jimma. The inaugurated sites were composed respectively of the Sudanese and Ethiopian cultural centers and a hospital center, an industrial park. Also, in his participation in the inaugurations of this new infrastructure in Jimma, Ethiopia, President Ismail Omar Guelleh today took part in the ceremony to launch the construction of a future Sudanese Ethiopian Cultural Center. This future Sudanese Ethiopian Cultural Center will eventually have a school and a library and a mosque. The work of President Omar Hassan al-Bashir, it will serve as an illustration of the friendship and fraternity between the peoples of Sudan and Ethiopia. In Jimma, the head of state also took part in the ceremony of inauguration of a new hospital with a capacity of 800 beds. The inaugurated hospital center is a sophisticated medical facility that combines the provisions of care with the insertions of structure for research, particularly in medicine. University inaugurated for three city of Jimma is also a modern infrastructure integrating amphitheater for readings, classrooms for tutorials, laboratories for experiment. After the inauguration of a new hospital in Jimma, the head of state took part in the graduations of the University of Jimma. The university inaugurated for this city of Jimma is also a modern infrastructure integrated amphitheaters for readers and classrooms for tutorials, laboratories for experiments. The head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, took the floors and explains that the country's Ethiopia listen to him.
My brother, Abiy Ahmed, for giving me this opportunity. I bring with me greetings from your brothers and sisters from Djibouti. I am really impressed with this infrastructure in this region. Let me also underline the fact that the higher education is key to development. You represent the future of your country. A nation without a well-educated youth has no prospects of progress and prosperity. So I urge you and I encourage you to continue your struggle for education and better life for yourself, for your families, and for your brothers and sisters of Ethiopia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
On the sidelines of his participation in this area of inaugurations of a new infrastructure for the city of Jimma, the President of the Republic also took part in a tripartite meeting with the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the President of the Sudanese President Omar Hassan al-Bashir to discuss, to visit the different cultural things of the region. This The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, explains the roles that can play Djibouti in the region and the relations between the three countries composed of Djibouti and Ethiopia and Sudan. He indicated that this meeting is very respectful to this. IGAD countries of education is called for actions for implement Djibouti declarations on educations of refugee returnees and internally displaced populations in host country meetings in Addis Ababa on Thursday, December 6 at the ministerial conferences on refugee education. The Republic of Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, and Uganda reiterate their commitment of the Djibouti Declaration second refugee education in the IGAD region and its plans of actions and reaffirmed their collective responsibility to ensure that every refugee, every return, each population's move to the interiors and member of the recipient community, and particularly girls, has in respective countries to quality education in a secure and discriminated environment of membership. Also, the Minister of countries concerned and the Executive Secretaries of IGAD, the High Commissioners of United Nations for Refugees, the Ambassador of European Union in Djibouti, the Regional Directors of UNESCO, the representative of the German government, the commissioners of the African unions have taken part in this historic and decisive meeting of Addis Ababa. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, His Excellency Mustafa Mohammed Mahamoud, paid tribute to the President Ismail Magele, who initiated this initiative following his commitment to the July 2017 World Summit on Refugee in New York, expressing pride in saying his country, the Republic of Djibouti, at the forefront of this collective commitment. The minister recalled the main actions already undertaken for the integration of refugee children into the education system national. During its missions to Djibouti, the Deputy Director General of World Trade Organization, Mr. Alan Wolf, made a speech at the Djibouti Summit in Balbala, where he held a press conference with the students, always accompanied by the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Nabil. On his arrival, he was greeted by the president of the university. Following these receptions of the Djiboutian executive, accompanied by the person in charge of OMS, went to the library of the university. During this visit of the university library, explanations of the different textbook and services and exciting tasks of the library of the universities were presented by the manager of the university. Then to the amphitheaters, where they were warmly welcomed by a loud applause from the students of the University of Djibouti. Of a conference was held and the themes Africa's places in the commercial system, and the students asked questions to the lecturers. Generally received the deputy general directors of the World Trade Organization, Mr. Alan Wolf, on regarding the economy and trade. Following the questions asked by the students who took part in the conference, the readers took part the turns in the discussion is the need for the youth participation in this trade to participate in the development of the country's economy using modern tools and will develop commercial climate, its connectivity in the world. They also spoke excellent positions of Djibouti. Indeed, it is committed to helping African countries make the most international trade and increase their participation in the multilateral trading system. At the end of the conference, the gift was given to the OMC leader by the Minister of Higher Education on behalf of the students. Today, Saturday, December 8, 2018, was celebrated the Day of Friendship Djibouti-USA on the same principles of the previous days, namely the presentations of the Djiboutian public of the most emblematic element of the American culture that were presented as standoff on Hollywood, the discovery of American history through the books, the performance of a group of sang, and demonstrations of guitars of to straight the American music for the official part. Also, opening speech were made by different personalities. The president of the Chamber of Commerce opened the meeting, thanking Ambassador Larry Anglais Jr. and his wife for having contributed with all the teams, including the military forces of the Lemonnier camp, to the success of this day of friendship. It has not failed to highlight all area of cooperation between Djibouti and USA. The United States ambassador to Djibouti then spoke to his country's contributions to the Djiboutian economy and the areas of cooperation between the two countries. He highlighted the longevity of political and diplomatic relations between the two countries that date back today after the independence of the countries. Finally, the directors of bilateral relations of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs closed the sessions by thanking the president of the Chamber of Commerce and the embassy for the UNICEF of the day. At the end of the official session, the various activities were open to the public who were able to discover America in its various aspects. As part of the self-help program, the ambassador of United States of America and Jordan found His Excellency the ambassador of the United States to Djibouti, Mr. Larry Anglais, to preside the ceremony to discount of donations of a total of $16,000 to local associations. This event took place in the Embassy of the United States of America. A total of 7 associations have benefited from these donations, namely Gaura Associations of Oboho, Association of Djibouti, Sisamo Association from the Associations of Ripta, Tujura Association Destiny of Young Tamerjok, ONG Roots, and finally associations at the TAN. Remember that the U.S. Embassy helps hundreds of associations every year through its self-help project. In the morning of Saturday, December 8th, it's the mayor of the city, Marwa Fatuma Awale Usman, launched a great day of sweeping days dedicated to cleaning of the big street Hassan Bahdon Bears, known as Avenue 26, in collaboration with the Bulaos municipality, the prefectures, and the two partners, district councils, the local elected representative, the OVD, ADR, and ONIAD, and the exceptional participations of some 200 officers of the Djiboutian Coast Guard, which has through the day with extraordinary strength, picking up household refusing and painting sidewalks. This sweep operation is part of the policy of embellishing the city of Djibouti, cleaning operations on this major road, pavement, painting, and removal of the wreck and abandoned cars on public roads were carried out during these days of Broom. Then the mayor of the city calls on the citizens to show civility and patriotism whilst preserving the cleanliness of the city. She took the opportunity to warn against incivility and announced 7 sanctions with the strict applications of the municipal decree 5/2017. The mayor of the city thanks the residents of the neighborhood 3, 4, 5 who responded massively to the calls of the city council and the prefectures of the Djibouti, the OVD, and more particularly the Djiboutian Coast Guard, in particular Colonel Wais Omar Bghorre, commanders of the Coast Guard, who participate in forces in this great sweep. Mass vaccinations activity against measles are continuous in good conditions in the capitals as well as through the national territory. The Ministry of Health has launched this mass immunizations campaign in collaboration with its technical partners from the United Nations system to protect all children from 6 months to 5 years old against measles. The target population in this campaign is 100,000 children distributed through the countries of the most remote corner of the Republic. The Ministry of Health has deployed more than 1,005 staff dedicated to this immunizations activity through a traveling strategy comprising 215 advanced fixed positions. In addition to the measles vaccines, children also receive its vitamin A supplementation and the warning with Medendazole. The Ministry of Health is appealing to the children's parents to return their children to the nearest vaccination post in their homes for mass participation in the measles vaccination campaign. The parliamentarians Hussein Abdul Qadir in his strongholders of Sagallu Goda near his elections to grant donations of food of 215 per family, announced this beginning of the electrification program as a long expected Sagallu located on this axis to Djibouti. The populations of Sagallu has given us a very warm welcome to the delegations led by the parliamentarian Hussein Abdul Qadir. As seen on these images, an enthusiastic crowds of women and men from all over the villages welcomed the delegation. She made a big plea to the Secretary of State for Social Affairs, Muna Usman, to send this aid to the populations of Sagallu. She also donated a package of sports equipment consisting of football to the directions of the schools, Mr. Hamadou Abdallah. In addition, she met discussed at length with the committee of wise men, the associations of women in Sagallu, as well as the representative of the youth. The discussions were informative for the young parliamentarian, and there were many grievances ranging from difficulties in the development sector, with the priority the issue of waters always news Sagalu. She promised to transmit the grievance collected to the competent regional and national authorities while continuing to make the reliefs of the populations to Sagalu. The parliamentarian Husseina was also accompanied by solar group technicians who will start the installations of solar poles, which is the beginning of electrification is long awaited in the village of Sagalu. The young parliamentarians Hussein Abdul Qadir's addressed the audience. She warmly thanked for the warm welcome. She promised to make the maximum effort and paid to the institutions to support the populations of Sagalu. She also promised to work with the assets of Sagalu, including associations for local development, women's and land youth association, to improve development in the locality of Sagalu, located on the strategic axis of Tajura, Djibouti. The Ganip associations of Tajura and celebrate the International Day of Disability at the CDC of Tajura in favor of the special persons. The president of the association takes this opportunity. The special needs people have to stay with their president and show perseverance. In the addition, the president emphasized that the programs initiated by the government are part of the objective of promoting better social integration, and Disabilities Association took part in this ceremony. The prefect of the region, Mr. Abdul Malik Muhammad Banoita, the chief doctor is Dr. Hassan, and the inspector, Mr. Farah. Following the instructions of the General Directors of Customs, Guled Ahmed Yusuf, the Dakhil Customs Brigade, led by the Musa Umar manager, carried out a punch operations against the contraband and goods expired or not authorized for sale to the public. This operation was carried out with the collaborations of the Dakhil Gendarmerie Brigade and resulted in the seizures of several batches of goods, including the cigarettes and cut of contraband, drug unauthorized for sale, as well as a product of expiring orange boxes and whose date was out of date. In total of 2 kilo hold for 18 kilo of cat, 32 items cans of petroleum product smuggled of drug and counterfeit goods that were over the counter in Dakhil. These contraband goods were sold in the various shops of the city of Dakhil. The order will be brought to justice, and finally the product were burned in the presence of the officials of the Gendarmerie and the Prefecture of Dakhil. The Director General of Customs, Mr. Guled Ahmed Yusuf, congratulated Dakhil Customs officers led by Musa Umar, who do a great job in the fight against product contraband in the regions of the unit. They encourage them to contribute to the perseverance in combating the smuggling that harms the economy of Dakhil and Djibouti, also is risks in the health of men. Concerning international scenes in Germany, the CDU party launches this. Listen to this report.
Christian Democrats elected Anglais came power on Friday to replace Angela Merkel as party leader, a decision that moves her into pole position to succeed Europe's most influential leader as chancellor. Rem came power 56 is Merkel's project and was the continuity candidate favorite by the party elect. Merkel said in October she will step down as party chief but remain chancellor.
This is it for this news. Thanks for watching us.